At Tree Frog, we take the guesswork out of marketing. So this is what we do for you because we know that this is your problem. You don't have a lot of time. You're constantly guessing what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Is this working? Is it not working? We're just removing that burden from you altogether.
Hey there, you're listening to the Priority Pursuit Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping small business owners define, maintain, and pursue both their personal and business priorities so they can build lives and businesses they love.
We're your hosts, Kelly Rice and Victoria Rayburn. Can't even say that today. Sorry, guys. And today we're excited for part 4 of the Marketing Guiding Statement series. And in this episode, we are breaking down the one-liner, which is probably why I can't speak because it's been a long process, right?
Yes, and if you guys are following through step by step, you know exactly what we mean. But again, we promise this is absolutely worth it. So, quick recap. Over the last several episodes, we've been talking about the importance of developing your marketing guiding statements before you develop or implement your marketing strategy. This is because without clear messaging, you won't be able to connect with your ideal customers, hold their attention, or get them to do what you want them to do or to work with your business.
Absolutely. Because it's when you jump right into posting social media or developing a website or creating reels, whatever it is that you're doing before you create your marketing guiding statements, you end up wasting a ton of time and money on things that just don't work. So that's why today we're covering the 4th area that you need in your marketing guiding statements, and it's called the one-liner.
Now, this statement is the one that you'll use the most in conversation, in all honesty, and it will help clarify who you are, what you do, and how you can help your customers solve their problem. And Kelly is going to break down this strategy for you, explain what a one-liner actually is, and just, all the things. This is going to be a great conversation. And guys, I promise this is not going to be as intense as, developing your talking points. And literally, you can get this done today and just go around and start using it. So Kelly, what is a one-liner? Why does it matter? And how can small business owners use it?
Well, actually, before we talk about the one-liner, we have to cover what we all do now when someone asks the question, what do you do? So if I was a betting woman, I bet most of us answer the question like this: I own a marketing agency, or I'm a photographer, or even better, I work in medical sales. I mean, how many people do you know that you're like, hey, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I do this. And you're like, okay. So all of those answers are not necessarily wrong. They just don't capture the attention of the person you're talking to, nor does it open up the door to having a conversation. So when somebody asks you, what do? You want to captivate them. You don't want to bore them. And when we use our one-line answers, I own a marketing agency, they're like, oh, okay. So to be able to captivate them and not bore them, this is where the one-liner comes in. It's basically your 30-second elevator pitch. It's a short statement that you can use that will help people realize why they need your product or service. And really, you need to remember this is something that you need to memorize. So when we talk about creating it, it needs to be something that you can easily think about and it feels natural to say, because we're going to stop answering the question, what do we do, with just a direct one statement, I own a marketing agency, or I'm a photographer. So the next time that someone asks you, what do? You're going to be able to use this guiding statement to pique their interest and start a conversation.
Absolutely. And guys, yes, I would just throw out here too that this may seem like an unnatural process at first. However, if you are, let's say you're a guest at a wedding, the photographer me always thinks you're at a wedding, you're going to meet so many people that you don't typically interact with. And chances are there is somebody in that room who they have a problem that your product or service can solve. So please don't let imposter syndrome cause you to think that this is a weird thing. If anything, people will be so happy that you are in one of these social situations and you are actually the one to strike up a conversation. So please just do it. It might feel funny the first couple times that you do, but it's going to make you a better conversationalist and open so many more doors for your business. Okay, so anyway, as you can tell, guys, if we've gone through this whole series, these are just things that we are so passionate about because we've seen it work for our own businesses. We've seen it work for Tree Frog clients. And can you tell that cheerleader background does come out occasionally? But anyway, back to the point. Everybody needs a one-liner. So Kelly, is there a process people should follow to create their one-liner?
Yes. And if you've been following along, I think it was maybe an episode ago, we talked about creating your talking points, because your talking points include 8 different elements, and they help do a lot of things actually, but they also are probably the most difficult and time-consuming part of the marketing guiding statements. So if you've actually taken time to sit down and think about your talking points, you're way ahead of the game for this. Because you've identified almost every element that you need in order to create the rest of your guiding statements, including this one-liner. So, and remember, your one-liner is something that you need to memorize. So from start to finish, you should be able to finish it within 30 seconds or less, and it needs to feel somewhat comfortable. At first, like Victoria said, it'll feel a little awkward because this is not how we normally would answer the question, but it's how the person on the other side actually wants to receive the information, so the conversation will be much easier, and you won't have that awkward silence in between going, oh, okay, now what question do I ask them? So, okay, so let's walk through how we can create a one-liner. So the process we follow at Tree Frog kind of follows a story format. So we first state the problem. Second, we present a product or service as the solution. And then finally, we share what people should expect. So using Tree Frog as an example, our one-liner is, most small business owners and leaders aren't sure where to start when it comes to their marketing and end up wasting time and money on marketing tactics that don't actually work. At Tree Frog, we take the guesswork out of marketing so that you can have the freedom to focus on other aspects of your business and life outside of the office. So let's quickly break down the statement into the 3 sections that I referenced so it makes a little bit more sense. So first we have the problem. And if you go back several episodes, you'll learn that one of Tree Frog's ideal avatars is small business owners, and they struggle with finding time to do everything they need to do both at work and at home. Therefore, our problem talks directly to this audience and lays out the problem that they are facing. So again, the problem in our one-liner is, most small business owners and leaders aren't sure where to start when it comes to their marketing, and they end up wasting time and money on marketing tactics that don't necessarily work. Next, we offer a solution. At Tree Frog, we take the guesswork out of marketing. So this is what we do for you, because we know that this is your problem. You don't have a lot of time. You're constantly guessing what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Is this working? Is it not working? We're just removing that burden from you altogether. But then the second part of that sentence is telling our ideal customers what they should expect when they choose to work with us. So again, the solution at Tree Frog, we take the guesswork out of marketing. Now here comes what to expect, so that you have the freedom to focus on other aspects of your business and life outside of the office. So when we put this statement all together, the person asking us, what do you do, gets a more clear picture of how you can make their life easier and a little better. So hopefully now all of the hard work that you're putting in learning about marketing statements is starting to make sense now, and all these little pieces are coming together so that you now can combine your talking points to help create a one-liner, which will help you to answer the question a little bit better of what do you do. So you literally now, after you create this, you have no excuse for answering the question, what do you do, in a boring way. You'll absolutely be able to have an answer and captivate people and then be able to start a conversation.
Absolutely. And guys, too, if you're listening to this and thinking like, okay, like that's nice, yay for being able to have conversations. So we would throw in here too that the very first thing at the top of your website, so that you can show your customers how you can help them, what problem you can solve, and answer all their basic questions, should be like an abbreviated version of your one-liner. Not the full thing. That's like, again, like 30 seconds worth of content to read, but that is going to inspire exactly what you place there. So that way, when people get to your website, they quickly know what you do, who you serve, and how you can help them. But, oh, yay. Again, so excited to be talking about marketing and guiding statements because, again, clear messaging is the key to effective marketing. Now, guys, this is part 4 of a 7-part series all about marketing guiding statements. But if you are listening and you want to knock out all of your marketing guiding statements as fast as possible, and you would appreciate a download that walks you through this process, you can access all of these things right now if you go to treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements. These next few episodes will be releasing over the next few weeks. However, we know that as a small business owner, your schedule is packed and this should be a priority. So if you have time now, and even if you don't, you need to make time, go to treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements to access all of these episodes in one place and to get your hands on this download that walks you through marketing guiding statements step by step. Now, if you've been hanging out with us for the last few episodes and you are just feeling overwhelmed by this process, we do also want to tell you that at TreeFrog, we do write marketing guiding statements for small businesses. You can learn more about this at treefrogmarketing.com/messaging. And essentially with this, we will handle the whole process for you. We will meet with you to make sure we understand your business, conduct industry research, and then we will go through and write your audience overview and then each of your 5 marketing guiding statements. Now, remember, before you can have an effective marketing strategy, you have to have clear messaging. So while creating your marketing guiding statements is a lot of work, remember that if you don't know how to communicate with your customers, you won't be able to connect with them or hold their attention. And as a result, like Kelly said before, every marketing tactic you implement or task you complete will only be a waste of time and money. So we're on the Priority Pursuit podcast, and today Kelly and I are begging you to please prioritize your messaging, prioritize your marketing guiding statements. Again, if you visit treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements, you can access all of the podcast episodes from this series and a download that walks you through step by step exactly how to write and define yours. Or if you go to treefrogmarketing.com/messaging, you can schedule a 15-minute consultation to discuss what it would look like to have our team write your marketing guiding statements for you, so that way you can focus on other important aspects of your business and life outside the office. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Priority Pursuit, guys. We are already looking forward to hanging out with you again next week.